Hey guys, how we doing today?
Afternoon, everybody.
Joe here.
Kevin?
All right, so lately on the in season five, we've noticed that Donna's been getting a lot more to do,
Yeah, for sure.
and I really like that.
The last episode was a really great Dawn episode because obviously they were dealing with pardons. It was very much a moral and ethical issue.
Sure.
And I feel like Donna was like the voice of the most compassionate for the episode, and it wasn't even close. Everyone else was kind of looking at it politically and pragmatically,
For sure.
which it's hard realities of an administration, right?
Yeah.
How things play politically, sadly enough, is going to be really important.
Of course.
Um,
And we broke that down last week too. But obviously, it ends in tragedy, as things often do on the show. I'm curious to see going forward with Donna's character. I like that they are giving her more to do. I want to see her continue to go that route
Sure.
because in the first few seasons, she's always been great, but she's always been kind of in the background. I love that she's actually, given the opportunity to do things on the show and really grow as a character.
Well, yeah, early on she was kind of like, as a lot of people pointed out, that person who's like the standing for the audience. Hey, Josh, please explain this issue to me because I don't understand it. Josh explains it to a layperson. What it's really doing is Aaron Sorkin explaining it to us,
Yeah.
in layman's terms. Now that Don is more capable, right, and more knowledgeable. I mean, you can't have her stay naive 5 seasons into the show. Like Donna still doesn't get anything.
For sure. Smart device early on.
Right. Yeah. So a device worked great early on, and now that Donna's more knowledgeable, she's being used more as the moral person who doesn't really care about political implications and just doing the right thing. And she's the only one on the show that gets to. She has the luxury of being that because she's not the one actually making the decision.
For sure.
She's not the one dealing with the repercussions of those decisions. So we just get that one person saying, "Hey, isn't the right thing to do this?"
Yeah.
Kind of regardless of how it plays or what people are going to do to punish us for it.
I love that.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely.
And also, we have a new character, Gabrielle Union.
Yeah, I hated that.
Did not
It
like
did-
the choice
it
to
was-
have her slap her.
Yeah.
Have her slap Charlie in the face.
Yeah,
It was a great choice.
and I saw on Patreon we aren't alone in that critique a little bit. First off, the way the story was organized, like we first meet her and she slaps Charlie kind of out of the blue,
So we're kind of
and it's
"Whoa."
like
yeah.
well, there must have been a really big thing that happens because
Yeah.
that's really jarring.
And it turns out it wasn't.
And it turns out it really wasn't. Yeah, there was no slap-worthy moment
It
there,
didn't justify
and we
that.
see it twice basically, and it was like, okay, this. Every once in a while, it's like Josh yelling at the Capitol building, right? Some of these moments feel, since Sorkin has left this season, just a couple of them have felt a little forced,
Out of place.
a little out of place,
Yeah.
a little contrived, and a little unearned.
Sure.
Right? Josh screaming at the Capitol building, "You want a piece of me?" Felt unearned. It felt, yeah, it did. and Gabrielle Union slapping Charlie. I mean, and it's a character we hadn't met before, so you left that with the one episode where they'd be like, "Women be crazy,"
Yeah.
which is not a great look,
It's not a
right?
good look at all.
Not even remotely.
That wasn't even a Sorkin written piece.
yeah, Sorkin catches the heat for not
Yeah.
being able to write women's arcs very well, but
We see
that-
it, John Wells.
yeah, that's a post Sorkin not great look for the writing of the female characters.
sure.
All right, we'll go ahead and jump into it here, but we do want to thank all of our Patreon subscribers for being here with us. Thanks for bringing that up, by the way. I almost forgot about that. I wanted to mention that. We do want to give a special shout out to Actuarial Lurker, Balas Foldes, Chris, Jeff, Christy Goverston, MJ, Surya Gundavarapu, Weird Magic, and Torgir Lingstad. Thank you so much, guys. We're really happy here with us.
Yes, we are. If you guys are watching this for the first time on YouTube, welcome to our channel. If you might hit the like button for us, please leave a comment down below and hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on the new content we have coming your way.
If you'd like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else we've watched or watching, please check out the link in the description below to our Patreon page. On every show, including The West Wing, we are at least 4 episodes ahead on Patreon of where we are on YouTube. So if you get done watching the YouTube edits and would like to keep going, you can do it on our Patreon page. You will have to sync and watch along on your own source material. You're only going to see near us for copyright purposes. We're also watching 30 Rock as a Patreon exclusive. Yeah. Slow news day. Sounds out of character for this show.
Right.
Not much going on. State of the Union. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's right there. I just was standing and clapping and assumed it was State of the Union.
Yeah.
Hey, how much cash on hand did Gaines have in the last FEC filing period?
The senator?
Everybody's got a Social Security plan.
Yeah,
Good morning, Mr. President.
Charlie, we're going to surgically implant a snooze button.
I think I know how we can save Social Security.
Wow. Yeah. I do too. Raise the wage cap.
I think he's not going to run again
Because he only has $310,000 cash on hand.
because he's not raising money. Get him and a leading Democrat to agree on a fix. Bring the House guys along. Before anyone knows he's a lame duck.
Republicans that want to divert a chunk of Social Security into private investment think Democrats will go along with that?
Bush did that.
I'll do all the negotiating. You'll have total deniability. No one else in this building has to know.
And if it blows up, I'm supposed to pretend we've never met?
We'll always have Paris.
Casablanca, nice.
I think you're not running for re-election. I think that because you broke ranks, stood up and applauded a minimum wage hike at the State of the Union, I want us to try to save Social Security. I'll bring the president, along with a leading Senate Democrat, to the table.
I'll need a Democrat.
Yeah.
Better be a heavyweight.
Bring in a bit, you think?
A big senator.
Yeah. Somebody we've seen? You think somebody that we're just going to introduce?
It's probably someone new.
Yeah.
Russell's instinct is to make fun of his blandness. Bob Russell is so dull, his Secret Service code name is Bob Russell.
And I may have something about Gaines.
Senator Gaines? Did Toby meet with him this morning?
I'm offering you the chance to do something real. I need you to comb through the Social Security reports on this table.
I guess that would make her perfect. No one's going to come up and
No.
chit-chat with her.
Exactly.
Poke at the Journal says you met with Gaines?
Yeah, it's nothing.
This wasn't about the tax bill. The $310K you called me about?
It's a coincidence.
Okay.
Josh is like, sure.
Is
man.
Josh going to be the one that blows this up on
He might
accident?
be.
Tell Will I'm coming over to see him.
What about?
Got a little surprise for Senator Gaines.
Oh,
Be
didn't
such a
you?
slow
Josh.
news day after all.
Toby's been meeting on the Hill. I want to know if it's on Social Security.
I'm sure it's not. The Wall Street Journal thinks you and Gaines are reforming Social Security. What were you talking about with Gaines? His volumetric ethanol amendment?
Did you know that Gaines raised an anemic, pathetic 310 grand last quarter?
Does he even have an opponent yet?
Russell travels to Gaines' hometown, puts out a change jar, stages a mock fundraiser.
We just have to get you and Gaines in a room, hammer out a deal Democrats can support.
I won't raise the retirement age.
No. We have to share the pain.
I'll talk. No commitments, but I'll talk.
Okay.
Right.
Until Josh destroys it, this is nice.
You didn't ask your question.
Why share it with the room?
Because they like flimsy rumors and innuendo, too.
I've got a second source.
I just heard from 2 reporters that Bob Russell and the Bartlett smear machine are planning to attack me on Social Security. You and your guys would never give up on your favorite partisan attack.
We're on the same limb. The Journal's chasing this. Your staff is leaking it.
They were until I confirmed it.
If they print this, it'll torpedo any chance of a deal.
Well, now you've got that limb all to yourself.
Dang, Toby, you really lost control of this.
It's not Gordon's wire story. C.J. Craig touts her right to adopt.
I thought you handled it beautifully.
Where's Gordon? I painted one room pink and another one blue because I wanted to live with both. They're such different sensibilities.
Yeah, about these new adoption
That's the thing, I
laws.
don't want to adopt.
So you don't have a crib?
Don't write your story.
I almost forgot you were my editor.
I'll give you an exclusive when this is over. I'll give you 10. When are you filing?
Tonight. Sunshine is the best disinfectant, Toby.
Not in this case.
I told you the 310K wasn't relevant.
I'm making it relevant.
I don't want it relevant.
The only 2 advantages we have in the midterms are Social Security and Medicare. We take them off the table, we got nothing.
There is no table.
What about?
I need you to talk to Toby's researcher about her clothes.
I thought you didn't want to play fashion cop.
Go down there.
This is kind of gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When do we ever get a deal on this?
When we win back Congress and do it on democratic terms.
We've been saying that for 20 years.
I'm out.
It's a tough episode.
Yeah, this is frustrating.
It's none of my business. Don't ever tell anyone what you're working on.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Donna.
Donna.
Donna, yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Donna, once again, Donna for the
Yeah.
win.
A senator who's mute and only represents people under 30.
Well, what about Jim Carney? What happened to him?
Josh
There's a
and I
lesson
wrote a
here.
TV ad that destroyed his career.
Yeah.
I lost Gaines, I lost Brainerd, and the Wall Street Journal's running it tomorrow.
Running what? That we grab the third rail with both hands?
Can't contain this by myself.
You're gonna contain it now.
There's no way, Mr. President.
Then find a way.
How? By telling the whole party so they can lay down on the tracks to stop it?
I really feel his frustration.
For sure.
I'm
For
sorry.
sure.
I'm sorry. I tried to do something noble.
That's what we talked about this morning.
God.
I may have an announcement for you, one that'll knock Poke out of the water.
Saying what?
Let me get the wording straight.
It says here that before
Josh
Social
is gonna
Security,
Josh.
half of all seniors died in poverty, and now almost none do.
Yeah, he wanted me to put this back in the box.
How do you do that?
By taking the blame for everything that happened.
Is that what he's gonna do? Fall on the sword and
Yes.
call it a day?
No problems.
There's a reason we have a chain of command. So people don't take flyers and I don't hand you their resignations.
Oh, I was wondering when he was signing if that's what it was.
CJ, show me your resignation. I didn't tell you because you would have body blocked me.
Because it was a stupid thing to do, and you knew it. We do what's possible. We exploit what's not. That's how we win elections.
Roy Turner.
So you're saying that you'll ask the Democrats to trim benefits over the next 20 years?
Is Josh going to come and collect
Wow, he
here,
did
actually?
say that. Wow.
We protect FDR's legacy and admit changes have to be made to save it.
To sell this to Democrats, I have to say you approached me first.
No, that's a deal breaker for me.
Oh, my God.
Closest we've been to a deal in 20 years. And it breaks down over who he approached first.
Wow. Yeah,
First
God.
Republicans as a
Dang.
right-wing sellout.
We don't take credit.
What?
We don't take credit at all.
We've practically saved the New Deal. No one will even know we were in the room. We'll know. If growing old in America means growing poor again, we'll know that too.
Maybe we pay a little more attention to what's being rendered.
I like that.
Yeah.
Rendering takes care of itself.
Okay. See, this season's still good. It's still pretty strong.
this
That
was a really,
fantastic.
really good episode. It was.
Every moment that does feel slightly out of place, we have something like this, and it's like,
Sure.
okay, this is the show we know and love.
Right.
Also, very strong Toby episode.
Yeah, yeah.
Richard
I
Schiff.
love when we do those. You know, he's such a great character and performs so perfectly.
He's got a real good screen presence too.
Sure.
But the character itself is one of the best TV characters I think of all time.
Mhm.
I mean, at this point, we haven't finished the show, but like we said with Mad Men, I mean, we were halfway through that show. And we both declared this is the best show ever.
It is.
Same
I
with this
still-
show.
yeah.
Same with this show. It's right there, top 5 for me.
Yeah, it's great. Absolutely.
But yeah, it's a tough situation. Of course, this show doesn't really have. I don't want to say it doesn't have happy endings, but I mean, like, there's always some sort of compromise. There's always
Sure.
some sort of.
Well, this is a happy ending episode for sure.
It is, but there's always some sort of. What's the word I'm looking for here? Caveat, if you will. You know what I mean, there's always a stipulation to it, which, I love the conversation about Bartlett protecting his legacy there.
Right.
Being like, invisible legacies don't exist. Like,
Sure.
they're gonna remember this 50 years from now.
Well, I think Josh is saying invisible legs knows this, and no one's going to care.
My bad.
Yeah,
but for sure.
that was a criticism of the deal.
But the line of it being like, this is still under your presidency.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but he's like,
nice.
it'll render itself.
Yeah,
Meaning,
exactly.
Like, during the Bartlett administration, this happened.
That's what I meant.
I mean, in our political climate now, presidents take credit for everything that happens,
Sure.
including things that we know they have no control over. Get blame handed to them for things they have no control over.
Yeah.
Presidential gas prices aren't a real thing. Never have been.
It's my favorite thing on Facebook.
Presidential grocery costs aren't a real thing.
It makes me laugh.
It is. Yeah, I know. And when you have a candidate, it's like, day one, when I'm president, I'll fix how much gas and food costs. No, you won't.
Yeah.
You absolutely will not.
100%.
But this was one of the more optimistic episodes because it's such a big issue that's not getting fixed in any way that everyone's like, can't you guys just find the middle ground? Absolutely they can't. But this is an episode where we had the two sides come together and actually come up with the middle ground, which is what every person alive wishes they would just do every now and then.
That's what we have this
instead
show.
of saying entrenched. Right. This is the ideal White House show, and I think this was a perfect episode to highlight that.
It does kind of depress you, though, when you think about reality. You're like, well, if only that could just happen. in real
I
life,
know, right? Can you guys just stop campaigning for 3 seconds?
That's what it is now. It's all campaigning, and it's all just he said, she said. But
Well, sure. I mean, there is no time off. Representatives, run every 2 years. There's no time. There's no time they're not fundraising for campaigning. Senate's every 6 years. They're still campaigning forever. We did not stop hearing about the presidential election. After the last one was done, and we're already talking about the next one.
Yeah.
Once this one's done, we'll be talking about the next one.
It's true. It's like 4 years fly by.
Yeah,
Like,
because we're hearing campaigning the whole time.
Yeah.
And as you've said before, our social media world makes it so much worse.
It's constant. It's constant.
Right. That a person who is a governor or a representative or a senator or worse, a media personality or celebrity can start tweeting tomorrow about how in 2028 they're going to be president, and it just never ends.
I guarantee you, I can open my phone right now, hop on Twitter, and see something, and it's just like, good lord,
constant.
Yeah.
For everything.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was a great episode to magically put politics aside to deal with an issue that absolutely needs to be dealt with.
For sure.
I don't, as polarized as the world is now, that's really nice to see. And again, wish that would happen in the world every now and then.
At least somebody's having the conversation. It has to be on TV, but there you go.
Right. All right. We'll catch you in the next one, guys.
See ya.